already, does anyone can tell me what these are? Yes, JJ? Yes, you got it. But why do I have a full square filled in, and why do I have an outline of a square? What's the difference?
Foreground, background?
Almost, but it's not Photoshop exactly? Yes. You got it. So this is the inside, the fill, and the little square outline is your outline color. Okay? I want you to press X. Press X, guys. You see that? It changes. Why? Just like Photoshop, whatever color is on top is what you're working on with. You understand? So if my white square that's a fill is on top, I'm selecting fill. If I press X, my outline is on top, I'm selecting the color of my outline. Correct? Okay. I want you to double click it. This looks familiar. Correct? You double click it. This looks like, oh, it's like the picker from Photoshop. Same thing. Cancel. Let's pick your swatch. Same thing. Colors. Correct? You can choose colors based on this, or just like Photoshop, we have windows. We have all the way at the bottom is swatches. But this is the difference with Illustrator. You will have default swatches that you can use. We're not working on color today with the swatches. I'm just showing you where things are, because I want you to maybe in your homework experiment a little. Okay, so for example, if I make a line, let's all make a line, any line. Yeah. Command A, or Control A, sorry. Control A. Yes. So there you go. Let's select the line, and let's make a line. I'm choosing Shift, so I can make a very, very clean line. Shift, no Shift. You see that? Shift, no Shift. Okay, fine. If I want to get out of it, I press Escape. Goodbye. Now, I want to have my direct select tool. You see this right here, guys? You see how it's highlighted? If by any chance, you see that has a little controls? In Photoshop, unless you toggle it, then you don't see it. Same thing with Illustrator, but it's a little different. If you don't see your bounding box, and you want to see it because it's very useful, you go to View, you go to, where are you? Show bounding box. Wait, hold on a second. Hide bounding boxes for me. You see that? And then View, if I want to see it again, show bounding box, so I can really see it. I want you to play with this line. If I'm still in direct select, which is V as in Victor, you see how diagonally, you can see my arrows are going on diagonal. My cursor changes. So same thing, I can make it bigger, I can make it smaller. Okay? Same thing. Huh? What do you mean?
How did you get it to look like this actual box?
No, I showed everyone. Go to View. After View, you go into either Hide bounding box or Show bounding box right now. Okay, there you go. So make sure you select the line, and that's how you see it. Now, we go back and forth. We can make it bigger and smaller. Now, I go to my stroke line. I double click because I want to choose a different color, and I change it. Okay? Now, this is Illustrator. I can change the weight of my line. What do I mean by weight of your line? The weight of my line is how thick is going to be my line. How do I do that? You go to Windows, you go to Stroke. This should pop out. You see that? There is, yes. If you don't see it, if I don't see anything, press F to go back to your normal until you see everything. See that? Okay. Give me 1 sec. I'll be right there. So I want everybody to see the weight. Go back, go into window, go to stroke. You see here? See if you can find stroke. That should pop out. If it pops out really tiny, it's because you haven't done hide option. It's like this. If it's like one little tiny section, go to the hamburger, that's what I call it, the lines, and put show options, and it shows everything. Is everyone okay seeing the stroke options? Yes? How about you? Yes? Okay, so I might just go back to you in a bit. After this, give me a second. After this, I want you, right where it says weight, you can see different weights. And you can change the weight of your line. Okay? And I can make it bigger or smaller. It's up to me how big or small I want it to do. The next part that I want you to play with is we have shapes. Just like in Photoshop, but shapes in Photoshop are pixels. Here are gonna be all lines all connected. So what we're gonna do is press M for shapes, or just look for the rectangle, click on the rectangle, go to my artboard and just make it. I want you to get familiar with shapes. Just do it. If you don't want the rectangle, there's more shapes than that. You click on the icon of rectangle and you notice it has rounded rectangle tool, ellipse tool, polygon, stars. Click on them and play with it. I have a circle. Same thing. If I press shift, I can make my circle. You see the difference? Shift and no shift. You see that? Same thing. So shift also helps us make a perfect square, a perfect circle. So how do we do a perfect square? We go into rectangle tool and we just press shift to make a perfect square. Okay? The other part too is I want to change the fill color. I just go back to the fill section that's on the bottom. I select it again and I change the color. Your homework, part of your homework is creating either 3 different lines. Actually, no, it's 3 lines, 3 shapes, but in different weights of stroke. Does that make sense? Meaning, I have this square, but I want this square. Remember a little friend duplicate when we press Alt? Same thing in Photoshop. You notice that? You see how when I press Alt, my cursor becomes double? Same thing. You just go, and I wanted to make a different weight. I go back to my weight stroke, and I just change it. Done. So the homework is creating different lines. It doesn't have to be a straight line. We have done over anchors. We have gone now over shapes, but in at least 3 different strokes for each one. Okay, so let's practice that.